came up with since deal with this in my law practice, tax increment financing it's called. You create a district, and when they build something, of course, the real estate tax value goes up because you have an improvement on the property. So some of that money will go used to help pay for the parking deck over time. So you reach a compromise with the schools, and I think it's 50-50. So 50% of that money goes to pay for the parking deck, 50% of it goes to the schools still. And that over time will help pay for the parking deck so the residents of the city don't have to pay for it.
Right.
So, we front the money, we loan the money to the district, and then the district pays us back over time.
And that's also something that, once again, you don't charge for that parking either.
Nope.
You don't realize how beneficial that is until you use it, and you don't have to get out even $2 or $3 because there's not many city. I mean, you go to Westlake to go to Crocker Park, and you're going to pay a couple, $3, $4, $5 to park, right?
Correct,
so.
Yes.
It's nice that's got built there, and it does help out a little bit.
And we receive grants, and we have electric charging stations in the deck.
Yeah.
And they want to put them in the county side too, which I agree. Why not? Because you got to give that opportunity of people who not only live here, but people to come and visit. Hey, if you want to pay to charge your car, there's a charging station. Put your credit card in and charge your car.
I've got a couple of questions here. Somebody's been really active. Previous guest, Good Morning Mechanic. He asked, what was the original idea for the middle crosswalks? I know you and I talked about that separately. But
Well, I think back in the day, people were crossing there normally. And so the crosswalks were put in there just for a safety measure because people were going to cut through the middle anyways.
Right.
So they were put there originally years ago to help solve a problem of people jaywalking. Because if you didn't have them, they're still going to do it.
Right.
So it was kind of a safety issue. And then we put the flashing lights to even make it safer. But they've been there so long, and there's so much traffic that people use them during events mainly, right? They use and sometimes they use them other times. But you just can't close them down and say, okay, you can't use these anymore because they're always going to be there. So it was mainly there for safety because people were jaywalking.
Yeah. Well, hopefully AI can help do that only when it's a red light. It's okay to wait 30 seconds, people.
Well, yeah, you could make people. I think that could probably be helpful.
Yeah, I had a question, just rewinding back a little bit in that, like we're talking about like the residential build out in and around the areas, mostly in the townships, right? And there's several hundred homes going in down on this end, and I live on the south end as well. What's the partnership between city government and township government and county government? Like, what does that look like?
Well, that's another thing that I was involved in years ago. It's called a joint economic development district. And it doesn't deal with residential so much because the joint economic development district is only really permitted to use commercial property. Now, apartments are commercial,
right?
But single family homes are not. So, and we set up an agreement between Montville and the city of Medina and created the district along Route 3 to be a joint economic development district where if a business wants to locate there, first of all, it's all voluntary. The business guy would say, I want to join the JED. It's not mandatory. We don't make people join it. And that's where people get confused. That, we were trying to work with Medina Township and they were confused over, well, I don't want to join it. I said, if you don't want to join it, don't join. It's voluntary because it'll help the businesses. That's all we're trying to do is help the business, join and get the services they want, get a grant from the JED district to help them pay for some of their landscaping or some of their storm sewers or whatever it is they want to use the money for.
So let me understand. So obviously we're in Montville, Medina.
Yes.
There's an agreement. It's almost like an ally.
Yes.
Right? Like,
yes. A collaboration.
And that's called the JED?
Joint economic, yes, a JED agreement. Yes,
okay.
There's an agreement in place currently. Yes.
And you mentioned Medina Township, which is like up 18, I presume, right?
Yeah, we tried to talk to them about it, but they
don't want any part of it.
They don't want no part.
Fair enough. All right. So then this JED, I'm assuming the businesses pay into that through their income taxes.
Correct.
Okay.
They voluntarily join to say, I want to join, and I will pay. It's a net profits tax for the business, 5%.
Okay.
And the employees will pay an income tax in there.
Gotcha.
So when we did the JED, we did it, and of course the schools joined. Waite and Blake Elementary, because they were in the township and they had a lot of problem because all the teachers wanted to work at those schools because they didn't have to pay income tax. So we said, okay, that'll solve the problem. Everybody's paying income tax. So now everybody says, oh, okay, I don't want to, I can work anywhere now. It's fair. It's more fair for and businesses have those problems because some of the businesses locate there and they say, well, you don't pay. They're like Drug Mart, for example. They were like, oh, they're in the JED because they have stores in the city and not in the city. So everybody says, well, I want to work at that store.
Right.
So they help solve their problems too, because it's more fair for their employees because not one employee is being treated differently than another.
And then they have access to additional city programs like grants and stuff
they get grants. The JED, the money that comes into the JED, the income tax, 20% of it goes right to a maintenance fund. So off the top, we take 20% and put it in a fund that can only be used for properties located in the JED, and they can apply to get the money out to help them, renovate, or if it's a new construction for landscaping or for storm sewer. So we try to get the money to come back to them.
So who oversees that money in the JED?
There's a board.
Oh, really?
Yes, there's a JED board, and there's township members and there's city members. I'm on the board.
I was gonna say, so the mayor. Yes. Are you as the mayor on the board, or are you as just an individual?
An appointee of the board.
Gotcha.
From the mayor, he appoints me to be on the board.
Okay, so what happens if you become mayor? Can you stay on that board, or do you have to?
Well, if they want to appoint me on the board, they can. I've been on the board since the beginning because I created the JED, right?
Gotcha.
So I help author the document itself. So I've been involved in it for many, many years. But at some point, somebody else is going to have to be on that board and carry out the purpose of the board.
And that jobs board is to see where the money goes, and then also like it's one thing if 10 businesses can say we want money to do landscaping, but as the board, I'm looking at it as like which one needs it the worst based off of what I'm seeing, or also which one's going to make the biggest impact on the area.
You hit it on the head.